everybody, and welcome to the Babalu Sports Show, where we talk to everything related and about Wisconsin sports and a little bit more. I'd like to thank you all for joining me here today, and we are going to start this show off by talking about the Badgers and the NCAA tournament. Uh, I know this season did not go exactly the way we were all hoping it would as Badger fans. Uh, to be honest, though, I didn't go into the season expecting a whole lot. I really didn't figure. I figured if anything, we were borderline maybe NCAA tournament bids, at large bid or something to that aspect. Uh, but then we started off really, really good. By January 3rd, when we beat Minnesota, we were sitting with an 11-2 record and sitting at, ranked, I believe, somewhere around 14 in the country. I thought, oh, look at this. Look how we're playing. We actually have a chance at maybe even competing for the Big Ten title. And who knows, maybe going deep in the Big Ten tourney and getting probably an upper seed in the NCAA tournament itself. I was thinking, like 6-5 seed, something around there. I was really optimistic, and I was really excited with the season and the way it was going. And then we had the 77-69 loss at Illinois. And then after that, the wheels fell off the wagon there. I think we lost like maybe 5 of the next 6 games and finished off with a losing streak and record the second half of 6-11 for a final record of 17-13. And then we're like borderline for making the NCAA tournament. We needed a good Big Ten tourney. We were number 12 seed going into the Big Ten tournament. But I still was optimistic. I still thought, oh, all we got to do is make a good showing in this tournament, and we still could grab an at-large bid. And with momentum, maybe can make a run in the tournament. But that obviously did not happen. We had the 65-57 loss to Ohio State in the first round of the Big Ten tournament. The game was not, in my estimation, even as close as the record would indicate. And I thought we did not come out and play with a whole lot of enthusiasm. I thought it was a sluggish performance, to be quite frank and honest. And obviously it sealed our fate. There was no NCAA at-large bid, no play-in, nothing like that. We ended up in the NIT tournament, which at the beginning of the season, yep, you would have told me Badger would be in the NIT tournament. I would have thought, oh, okay, not terrible. I wouldn't have been 100. I wouldn't have been completely surprised. I would have just thought, let's take it and we'll go. Why are we sitting where we're at right now is a big question. What do you all think? For me, I think it's obviously the offense is the biggest issue. Our defense wasn't great, but our offense, we were 13th out of 14 teams in the Big Ten in offense at 65.4 points a game. Our defense, the reason I think it's our offense, our defense was 5th. We were only giving up 63.8 points per game, but that differential of just 1.7 points, 12th in the league, it's hard to win when you're only scoring 2 points more per game than you're giving up. We didn't have any players, none whatsoever on our team that ranked in the top 25 in scoring in the Big Ten conference. Even at the beginning of the season when I didn't, I was hoping but not expecting a lot. I would never have dreamt that we didn't have at least one player in the top 25 in scoring in the whole Big Ten. Tyler Wall, Stephen Crowell, either one of them or both, I would have expected to be, in that range in the top 25 in scoring. I realized Tyler Wall, his injury, he never came back fully from that injury. He just didn't seem to be the same player. I don't know. I mean, he's pretty good under the basket, and it just didn't seem that he had ability to be the force under the basket as he was beforehand, or shooting was off a little bit too. Um, with that in mind, our field goal percentage as a team, 42%. And that again was 13th in the league. The one bright spot on our offense was our 3-point shooting. We were sixth in the league in 3-point shooting at 35%, and we had the second most made 3-pointers per game at 8.1. The problem with that is most of the time we were I felt we were using those 3-pointers to try and get ourselves back into the game that we had fallen behind and we were trying to make up, or we were pressing because it was such a close game that we were trying to build our lead. For this Badger team, I felt that the 3-point shot should be used as a tool, secondary tool, not the go-to. But boards, we were dead last in rebounding. We averaged 31.3 rebounds per game, dead last in the Big Ten, dead last in rebound margin at -4. It's hard, really hard to have much of a above 500 record when you're shooting. You're only scoring 2 points more per game than your opponents, and you're being out rebounded. Where does your scoring come from? And that's where we ran into, or the 3-point shooting, and why we were shooting so many. I thought once Stephen Crawl got hurt that Tyler Wall was not the force down below as I expected him to be, and Chucky Hepburn. In my guesstimation, his best asset for the Badgers is when he's controlling the game and he's running the offense through him, and he's not trying to be the offense. I get that he felt at the end of games that he had to be the offense, and I think that caused him to press a little too much, and his shooting percentages are not what they should be to be the top scorer. And I'm not criticizing Chuck Hepburn because that's not his role, in my estimation, on this team. His role was to distribute and run the offense and get the ball to the likes of Tyler Wall, Stephen Crawl, Connery Season now. So when the Badgers are running a perfectly oiled machine, I believe it's him bringing up the ball, getting it inside to one of those two, to Wall or Crawl, and them either working in paint or pitching it out to Hepburn or Season on the outside. That's the best. Would be the Badgers at the best in my estimation. So now to go to the positive. I mean, we are in the NCAA NIT tournament, and we just had an excellent game with Bradley. An excellent victory, 81-62 victory over Bradley in the first round, where all of this that I was just talking about came to fruition. Stephen Crawl just had just a monster game. Career high, 36 points. His previous career high was 25 points. That's an 11-point improvement on just his career high. He was shooting the ball from the outside, hitting the 3-pointers. He was working inside. Just tremendous game. Tyler Wall, he ran into foul trouble, so he was not 3 points. We need more than 3 points from him going forward if we're going to keep going in the tournament. But with the way Tyler Wall played, it didn't bite us in the butt. It didn't hurt us that much that he only had 3 points and that he was on the bench for a good portion of this game. Chucky Hepburn only shot 1 for 7, 3 points. Again, we need more points from him, but you know what? He was running the offense. He got into Stephen Crawl. He was pretty good on defense. In my opinion, Chucky Hepburn was the Chucky Hepburn that we need for the Badgers to be a well-oiled, well-moving machine here. Uh, Connor Season, only 2 of 11 from the floor, but he was 9 and 9 from the free throw line and scored 14 points. That's a good game, especially for a rookie. And going forward, seasons to come, I feel really comfortable having him on our team. He is going to be an excellent player for us. And I believe we're only losing Tyler Wall. So I think Crawl coming back, Esesian, Hepburn, the rest of the guys, we have a very good shot at having a couple more good seasons with this core of people. Um, and the season's not over yet. I mean, we're going into round 2 of the NIT. We're taking on the Liberty Flames. They were 27 and 8, but they are not they have not played the competition that we have in the Big Ten, and I think we have a very a good shot at an easy victory in this game. It'll be Sunday at the Kohl Center, and we will be. Excuse me. I'm sorry. It'll be Sunday at the Kohl Center. I'm not really sure. I think 11 a.m. Yeah, it'll be 11 a.m. at the Kohl Center. And I think looking at this NIT bracket, the way I've been looking at it, I have them in my bracket actually winning the NIT tournament. And I think they have a really, really good shot at it. I mean, I don't see why anybody could make a case that we wouldn't. We got Bradley, we play Liberty, which I think we should take fairly easy. And I've got them in the quarterfinals matching up against Oregon, another very winnable game. And in the Final Four, I have them taking Oklahoma State. And then, and then in the championship game, I don't know. I don't know how all your guys' brackets are doing, but mine, the other side of the bracket, both teams that I had going to the Final Four in the NIT tournament, New Mexico and Clemson, have already lost. So, and with Rutgers being knocked out also over there, I'm sure that was a team that a lot of you all probably had going to the Final Four, if not winning it. So, I would like to know how are all your guys' brackets going. Just leave a comment and I'll try and get back to, banter back and forth with you about that. And if it all comes down to it, I can maybe haven't talked about it in my next podcast. But this bracket, I have Wisconsin going, and I really do think that they have an excellent shot at winning the NIT tournament. Speaking of brackets, what about, and speaking of Wisconsin, what about the Marquette Golden Eagles? Have they not had an awesome season? 17-3 in the Big East, winning the Big East outright, and 29-6 overall, number 6 in the nation in the final poll. And speaking of brackets, I have Marquette going to the Final Four in my NCAA tournament bracket. Where do you all have them? Where do you all have them at? I think they have just an excellent shot. They're taking on Michigan State also tomorrow, I believe, at around. No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what time they play tomorrow. I know they take on Michigan State tomorrow, um, but I'm not positive on the time. But I have them beating Michigan State, beating Kansas State in the round of 16, and the round of 8 again. I don't know how all of your guys' brackets out there are looking, but I had a lot of faith in Purdue, maybe just because I'm a Big Ten homer or something, but I had Purdue and Marquette meeting up in the Elite Eight, with Marquette winning and going to the Final Four. I don't really know much about Farlene Dickinson, which I'm sure most of you all don't either, or maybe some of you do. I shouldn't say it that way, but I'm sure a good majority of us don't. But I mean, they upset Purdue 63-58, and they're taking on Florida Atlantic to go to the round of 16. So, with that said, I don't know. I had Tennessee. I had Duke actually, Purdue meeting in the round of 16, but Duke lost today to Tennessee. So it'll be Tennessee and the winner of FDU and Florida Atlantic playing in my bracket. They'd be playing Marquette then in the round of 8. Um, a couple other big upsets that have messed up my bracket a little bit is Furman beating Virginia 68-67. So, because I had Virginia going to the Sweet 16 also, I'm losing out there to Alabama. So, for me, the national semifinals, Alabama Marquette, with Alabama beating Marquette. Houston and UCLA meeting on the other side, with Houston winning that and Houston being the eventual national champions. So, the other side of my bracket, the Midwest and West, is not looking too bad. I've only got a couple wrong, and one of them is my own fault. Um, like I said, usually I'm a Big Ten homer, but I just for some reason thought Boise State would upset Northwestern, which obviously didn't happen since Northwestern really took care of Boise State 75-67. So um, I don't know how everybody else's brackets are looking, but I'm happy with my NCAA one. My NIT one is just trash, I guess, for lack of a better term. But what do you all think of the Badgers season and the tournaments? If you want to just leave some comments, I will either get, like I said before, get back to a comment in the comments to you either way. And then who knows, maybe I'll bring it up on my next podcast, all depending on how it goes and what you leave there. But that is going forward. Let's all root for Marquette and Badgers. Um, in the Bucks. The Bucks will be playing again tomorrow against Toronto, I believe, at 7 o'clock. They'll be back in action. So let's support our basketball teams. We'll come back and talk about the outcomes of all those games and how the tournaments and our brackets are going. And I'll even hit a little bit on, I'm probably setting up another podcast on the Brewers, the spring training, how it's gone, and what the regular season looks like coming up. And of course, I'll have to hit on the Aaron Rodgers trade to the Jets and what our Packer team looks like going forward. So make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and share. And thank you all for joining me. There's just me. And I will see you next time on my next podcast. Take care. Appreciate y'all. Till next time. See you.